Welcome to my channel. This is your daily crypto wrap-up where we give you all the day's news, stories. Alright guys, starting looking at the market, the global crypto market cap right now is sitting around $3.88 trillion. That's up 1.13% in the last 24 hours. We're looking at about $140 billion in the last 24 hours for total crypto market volume. That's up 65%. Bitcoin's dominance is at 57.56%. Let's go over some of the top trending crypto. We got some movers today. Let's look at those. Dogecoin up 0.19% in the last hour. In the past 24 hours, it's up about 0.04%. Solana also did really well. In the past hour, it's up 0.39%. But over the past 24 hours, it's actually down a little bit, 0.06%. But those are some of your top movers of the day. Now let's go ahead and jump into the news because there's a lot going on. One story that I wanted to share with you guys is that the Nasdaq has filed to allow tokenized stock trading. So, if you think about it, this is kind of like Coinbase's project with the stock tokenization, where you could buy fractional shares of stocks through their app. Well, now the Nasdaq wants to get in on the action. They filed for this rule change to allow trading of tokenized stocks and ETFs on its regulated exchanges. If approved, this would mark a significant step towards bridging traditional and digital markets and help usher in a new era of financial innovation. So the next time somebody says that crypto is not regulated, you can say, well, you know, the Nasdaq, they want to get in on the action. They want to regulate this. And if you think about it, this is really good for investors and traders because it gives them more access to these markets, more options to trade things, right? So overall, I see this as a really positive thing. Next story, I want to talk about Megeth. So Megeth is an Ethereum layer to scaling solution that uses a proof-of-stake model to provide fast and secure transactions while maintaining decentralization. So they've just launched a new yield-bearing stablecoin called USDC. So here's what's going on. Mega said that it will subsidize the cost of Ethereum sequencer fees to keep transaction costs low and promote accessibility for users. So basically, they're saying, hey, we want people to be able to use our network and spend their money and spend their crypto and spend their and you want high gas fees to get in the way of that. So we re-gone, nah, subsidize the gas fees. Now, how are they going to pay for this? Well, they have a supply of around 100 million, which they plan to allocate towards subsidizing transaction costs initially. However, they stated that this is a temporary measure as the network transitions to a fully decentralized state. When users will share the responsibility for sequencer fees through their stake. So this is a really cool way to bring value back to the network and encourage people to come on and use the network. Now, let's talk about the Solana ecosystem. So there was a hack over on the Solana network. And this is why I always tell you guys to keep your private keys safe. So what happened was Swissborg, this is a cross-chain lending and borrowing protocol based on Solana, has confirmed a compromise in its Solana program resulting in the loss of approximately $41 million worth of crypto. According to their post, an unauthorized third party gained access to a kill API key belonging to one of their team members. So apparently this person had full access to the system, and they took advantage of this access to drain funds. So the impacted users will be compensated in full from the company's insurance fund. So they're making it right, but this is why you need to keep your stuff safe. Even though this was a centralized entity, this is still something that could happen with any sort of crypto project out there. And it's a reminder that you should always protect your own private keys and take custody of your own assets. But that's a big deal because this was a big player in the Solana ecosystem. And this is a big amount of money. All right, let's move on to some other news. Hashkey, a Hong Kong-based digital asset financial services firm, has launched a $500 million digital asset treasury fund. Now the fund aims to invest in a diversified range of blue-chip digital assets, including Bitcoin, major Layer 1 and Layer 2 protocols, as well as selected non-crypto assets. So this comes off the heels of Nick Cardello and Linda Yaccarino, the CEOs of Coinbase and the former CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, who both testified in front of Congress earlier this week that institutional investors should be required to disclose their crypto holdings. So this is really interesting because they're saying, hey, we need more transparency in the market. We need to know if institutions are buying and selling crypto so that we can make informed investment decisions and regulate this market properly. Now, this massive supply chain attack that we talked about earlier today, where attackers were exploiting core JavaScript libraries used in many popular crypto applications to steal user funds, well, that issue has spread to another popular wallet application. So MetaMask users are now being warned about a fake version of the MetaMask browser extension that's being promoted through malicious ads on platforms like YouTube. This comes after a similar attack compromised the off-chain labs Go Ethereum wallets, leaving $37 million in Ethereum and ERC20 tokens vulnerable. So they're saying, hey everybody, this is a warning. There's somebody out there who is trying to replicate MetaMask, and they even using advertisements to do it. So I'm sure the authorities are looking into this, but just be aware. Okay, a few more stories. The US SEC Crypto Task Force says financial surveillance and privacy concerns need to be addressed before regulation of digital assets can move forward. So this is interesting. They're saying right now it's too risky. Guys, we couldn't regulate it until we figured out how to spy on everybody and see everything they redoing. So I'm not really a fan of the direction of this, but that's where it seems to be headed. In other news, OpenSea has announced a new OpenSea Reserve, an initiative aimed at creating and curating exceptional curated NFT collections. As its first acquisition, OpenSea Reserve bought CryptoPunk 527. The punk was acquired using 550th, currently worth over $250,000. So this is really cool. The NFT market is changing. There's new trends, and OpenSea is trying to adapt. All right, let's finish this up. The president of Kazakhstan has called for the establishment of a national crypto reserve and a digital asset law by 2026. He also mentioned plans for a crypto city similar to Dubai's Free Zone initiative in the country's Alato region. So this is good. This is positive news. This is great. Countries are starting to understand that cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is not going away. And finally, former Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky is heading to prison for 12 years after admitting to felony fraud charges. So he's going away for a very long time. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to the show. We'll see you tomorrow.